Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, it's Easter Friday. It's Good Friday, Timmy. It's Good Friday.
Well, it's Good Friday, but not because of that Easter thing. It's
yeah, it is, baby.
opening day, man. It's opening day.
And it's opening day at many parks, home openers all across.
Here in Texas, yeah.
And in Minnesota for the Rays. It's their home opener as they welcome in the Rays with their 30-degree blizzard weather for baseball. Hey, what the hell's going on here? What the hell's going on?
What happened to global warming?
Yeah, good God. Let's go. Yeah, so we got baseball up in Minnesota today. It's going to be chilly. And the Lightning win last night. Got to thank half of Pittsburgh for showing up to get your ass kicked. Thank you for your donation to the Nikita Kucherov re-signing fund. Appreciate that. I even thanked him on the Jumbotron last night for coming out.
Did you really? That's
of course.
Ballsy.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah. After we took the lead.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yes, after we took the lead.
Did you say, "Hey, Pittsburgh idiots, thanks for coming"?
No. We go. We see you out there, Pens fans. Thanks for coming. We appreciate you. Welcome.
Thanks for bringing your money with you.
Yep. Thanks for making that donation. We appreciate you.
I hate Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. How do you hate Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh.
What's to like about Pittsburgh?
They're beautiful people.
Dirty.
They're beautiful people.
Dirty people.
Yeah. Great stadium right there on the water, right there. Beautiful. Baseball stadium's great. Great people. Really, really great sports fans. Holy shit. Fantastic.
All right, we have different definitions of great sports fans and great people then, apparently.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love every person and I respect all people.
Yeah,
I'll
it doesn't
just say
sound like
that. I'll just say that. I just don't like your city. I'm sorry. I hate your city.
You know, I thought Pittsburgh was like a dirty old Rust Belt city, blah, blah. But when I was there, and this was probably, 10 years ago, I found it wonderful. Really did. I thought the people were fantastic. And yeah, like I said, incredible sports fans, really down to earth, great people, great food. Yeah. No, I loved it. Absolutely.
You want to know how to piss off a Pittsburghite?
How?
Hey, Pittsburgh, you know what city's better than yours? Cleveland.
What was the great Sam White line?
You're not in Cleveland.
You live in Cincinnati, you know? We're not in Cleveland.
Not in Cleveland.
That's
Stop throwing crap on the field.
That was outstanding.
That was so great.
Now, when I was in Cleveland, that was a little different.
See, I love Cleveland. I got no problem with Cleveland.
Cleveland's, it's kind of a dirty town when I was there. But I like Pittsburgh. Anyway, we've got
digress.
We'll talk some Lightning. Jeff, the big win over the Pens last night. Of course, we have stadium news. When do we not have stadium news? John Romano wrote a column that could possibly be perceived as somewhat positive if you stretch if you stretch far enough. So, and that gives me pause. Like, what's going on here?
Double take.
Like something's up. But it has to do with the community investment tax. It's great sports talk when we're talking about taxes and stuff. Isn't it awesome? It's fantastic.
Tired head.
Yeah. We're all gonna have stadium fatigue. But as we've mentioned many times, it's the biggest story in 25 years in Tampa Bay. So we gotta cover it. And we'll talk some Bucs as well. The Baker Mayfield extension is been brought up in the recent days. Liam Cohen had some thoughts on it. There's been some reporting out there that the Bucs and Baker are working on an extension. And I did a little work on that last night and just kind of thinking it through. So I'm going to have my thoughts. I've been very I was pro extension going into this off season, but given what the Bucs have not done, I've kind of changed my tune on that a little bit. So I'll explain that a little bit later on in the show. So, let's get right to it. I'm going to hit Lightning first because we kind of gave them a short trip yesterday. Great atmosphere last night, kind of a playoff atmosphere with all the Pittsburgh people in the house. I was chatting with some folks last night, and it's kind of interesting when we get these crowds. They're typically late in the season, And I said this on a post-game show last night. I hope nobody at the Lightning's mad with me. But what you'll see is Lightning fans will sell their tickets to, like, Boston's coming in on Saturday. All the Boston, Pittsburgh fans want to come down because they can, basically get cheaper hockey tickets, get really good tickets down lower bowl, which would cost them $400 or $500 where they live.
Yeah.
Get great tickets here, or come up to the Mark Club and eat and drink and have a good time and get the hell out of the dirty ass cold cities that they live in. So you see a lot of them. They kind of fill them up, and the Lightning people are soaking these other folks and getting their money to buy their playoff tickets, which is, I don't have a huge problem with it. It kind of adds a little bit of a party atmosphere to the whole place, because there's constant cheering going on. When one side's doing something good, they're cheering, and so there's always a buzz in the building. So it adds a little bit of extra oomph to it. So the building was jumping last night, and it's kind of fun. Cirelli gets a hat trick, and no bigger goal than at the beginning of the second period. They're down 2-1, and the Pens are on the power play. So they, this next goal is going to be big. And Lightning kind of off the faceoff get kind of spring Cirelli loose on a breakaway, and he makes a great move to the backhand and scores, and that evens things up at 2. And the Lightning were kind of on their way after that. Cirelli finishes with a hat trick last night, thanks to an empty netter. Kucherov has an absolutely ridiculous angle shot that I've seen it 100 times, and I still don't know how it went in. He's like right at the bottom of the circle, almost at the boards. And he just, he turns around and he flicks this wrister, and Skinner, I believe it was, it goes like he's tight to the near post. So he's got everything covered except maybe over his shoulder. There's about, a window that big. Sorry if you're listening on the podcast. I got my hands closed together. There's about a window that big, the size of a puck, that you might be able to get it through. And of course he did, because that's what Cooch does. And it wasn't like he was 5 feet away. He was almost to the boards.
Those guys are good.
I'm like, what the? And yeah, so he scored that one. He had 3 points last night. So I didn't see what McDavid did last night. Let me do a quick check here, because he was playing at last after the first period. He had not scored. So Cooch is up to 124. Oh, okay. McDavid had one last night.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Cooch at 124, McDavid's at 126, McKinnon at 121. So the race for the Art Ross is on. This would be his third straight. And there's a chance, obviously, that he could win 3 straight and never get the Hart Trophy in any of them. And
how crazy is that?
It's stupid. It's just ridiculous. These writers they're just biased. They hate Russians. They're biased towards Canadians. It just is what it is. That's why it's what we shouldn't really talk about it, because it's kind of meaningless. It's not meaningless. Obviously, it's the MVP of the league, but they're making it, a tainted thing. I mean, a guy can't win the scoring title 3 years in a row and not win an MVP. Get out of here with that. That's bananas.
But aren't they separate awards?
They are, but typically they go to the highest scorer.
Right. But I don't think it should. Like, you have an award for that. Don't duplicate your awards.
But my point is, at some point.
Right. I mean, but I get there should be a crossover.
He's leading the league
point,
3 years in a row.
Right.
At some point, he's the most valuable player.
You are the best player, the most valuable player in the league. I get it. I don't think it should happen every year. I think it should be.
Oh, not every year. No. Yeah. I agree with that. And it's all circumstantial, right? Hellebuck had a hell of a year last year. I get it. Still don't think he was the MVP, but anyway. So
I don't think goalies should be eligible for an MVP either, by the way.
There you go. So
it's called the Vezina.
So maybe the other biggest goal of the game last night was Gergensen's goal, because that line of Gord, Holmberg, Gergensen's has been just buzzing all around the net, playing really, really good hockey. And again, last night they shut down Sidney Crosby's line. He had nothing, squadouche, and they go out and they finally score a goal. And against Montreal the other night, it's funny because against Montreal, and Coop said this last night in his presser, we probably played better against Montreal than we did tonight, and we just didn't win the game. We didn't win the score. They had, I think, they outchanced Montreal, high danger chances and total chances almost 2-1, and they lost the game. They lost it 4-1. It was a 2-1 game, and then you had 2 empty netters, but they just couldn't score their chances. That line had 13 chances, couldn't score. Last night, the Bolts had 8 high danger chances to 7, 20 overall scoring chances to 18. So it's a fairly even game. But what the Lightning have done this year is they've been, Gensel and Kucherov, I think, are the top 2 in the league in converting high danger chances and their high danger conversion rates. Whereas the Pens are kind of the opposite. They haven't been able to finish. So, and that was the difference in the game last night. And because it was pretty even. Shots weren't even, but scoring chances were. So, and that's kind of how I look at games. High danger scoring chances. Those usually tell you which teams are, possess the puck the most and are kind of dominating the game. The Lightning got goalied against Montreal. Dovesh was fantastic. And last night they snuck a couple through. So, and Vasi gave up one with 9 seconds left, and Coop was not happy about that because the defense kind of went to sleep. And that's just disrespectful to your goalie. And he got pissed off, but whatever is what it is. But it's, that's not cool. It's not cool. So, especially when he's going for the Vezina and he's leading the league in wins, a second in goals against and second in save percentage. So every one of these numbers right now, especially goals, are going to count, and if he can get the Triple Crown, then he's probably a lock for the Vezina. So right. It's important. And, so that all in all, I thought it was a really, really good game. And what we're seeing from the Lightning right now is they're developing that line, that Holmberg, Gord, Jorgensen's line is they shutting down the other team. And now, they've been getting chances. Now let's see them convert. And now if you can get a few goals out of them in the playoffs and your top line stay high, even Braden Point had a goal last night playing with Kucherov. That's good. Get him going again. Hagel was out. So Point had a chance to play with Kucherov, and that was really good. So get him going. He's got 18 goals now. They need it, but that's his first goal in 12 games for Point. I mean, he's got to be better than that. He's got to. They're not going anywhere unless he starts to get it going.
He needs to be playoff ready now.
Yeah. So that's, if there's one thing I worry about right now, it's Braden Point getting going. So that was good to see last night as well. So I thought last night you checked off a lot of boxes. You got your 2 points. You got to 100. They haven't clinched, but it's all but clinched. They need one more point or a loss from these 3 other teams. Right. So that's happening. They basically clinched. You're getting that line going. Point has a goal. Cooch stays hot. Gets 3 points again. Vasi was fantastic as always. He looks in. It looks like this team is really peaking. Now, another kind of important piece happened yesterday. Victor Hedman was put on a long-term injured reserve, and he's not coming back this year. He's not coming back for the playoffs. He's not coming back.
We kind of already knew this though, right?
Yeah. I think it was kind of made more official.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure I know why, but they're personal reasons and we're not going to talk about it. Mm-hmm. So it is what it is. He's not coming back. I don't think it's career threatening. It could be, but I don't think it is. So I think a good off season of rest and, get back to being himself. And I think we'll be fine. Obviously, I think he has 3 years left on his contract. Timmy, if you could double check me on that, 3 years at about 8.9, I think it is off the top of my head. So obviously we got to get Hedman back to being Hedman. So we'll, a good off season, go home, be with the family, get everything right. And, I think he'll be back. And obviously the Lightning will support him and the fans will support him in every way we can. So, a couple of prayers up for Victor. Hope everything turns out well, and we'll wish him the best.
Victor's contract runs through the 28-29 season at $8 million per.
Yeah, so that's
age 38 season. So that would be
three more seasons.
Yeah, 3 more years.
3 more seasons. Yeah. Buckin 0220 says, "Is there a chance we've seen the last of Victor Hedman play?" There's a chance, but I don't think, I'd say it's, and I don't know the specifics of everything. So I'd say it's 90-10 that he comes back and plays. But again, I don't have a whole ton of information. I have a pretty good idea what's going on, but not, and we don't want to speculate anything public until he wants to make it public. So we'll just give him support. And he's our captain. He's had an incredible legacy. He's a Hall of Famer, great dude. Everybody loves Hetty. He's the best, and just he'll be back. He'll be back. I don't think that's a big deal, but you never say never.
JP, interestingly here, I always keep up with these things. They don't usually mean a hill of beans, but I like to keep up with it just to kind of get a grasp for the national narrative on the NHL, because it's usually very different than what your local narrative is. If you only read, for instance, in the Tampa Bay area, if you're only reading local journalists on the Lightning, you don't get a feel for how the rest of the country views it. And that's true of any sport.
True.
That's true.
Absolutely.
The Bucs, Rays,
yeah.
So I try to keep up as much as I can, especially in the NHL, because I feel like that's a little more relevant as far as the national narrative versus the local narrative. But ESPN's rankings, because I feel like ESPN's got a good group of hockey people. I really do, maybe more than any of the other major sports. And they're all involved in these power rankings for the NHL. And I normally don't pay attention to power rankings, especially like the NFL and crap, just because it just usually doesn't mean anything. But for instance, they've got the Lightning at number 5, and they've been pretty steady around the number 5 spot. Just ahead of them, you've got the Stars at 4, the Sabres at 3, the Canes at 2, and out in the West, the Avalanche at 1. I can't really argue with any of that. But right behind, and they've been creeping up pretty steadily the past few weeks, at number 6, right behind the Lightning, are the Habs. The national narrative on the Habs is they're entering a hot streak right before the playoffs. And what's the Lightning's most likely at this point first round opponent? It's the Habs. The little narrative, or the little paragraph here, says the Lightning's most important game, according to them, coming up is April 9th against the Canadiens
at Montreal.
Yeah, it says the division title is yet to be determined. The number 2 seed in the Atlantic is poised to square off against the Canadiens. It may end up being Tampa Bay versus Montreal in the first round. Of course, that would be a rematch of the 2021 finals. That weird 2021 NHL season where you had the weird divisions, and that's so weird. But I think that's an important game, not just for the alignment of the NHL playoffs coming up, but for considering they do meet in the first round, that's going to set the tone, because that's your last meeting of the regular season. So, man, I don't know that I've been more excited for a Habs first round series than I would be this year against the Lightning. That would be crazy for me.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Lightning have had a lot more playoff experience than the Habs, but it hasn't been good experience the last couple of years, obviously, with the first round exits.
Yeah,
and I don't think Montreal is a team that is going to, beat up Kucherov and Hagel and hit him in the back of the head and injure him, like the Panthers did. So I think it's going to be fair hockey. And given fair hockey, I think this is a series. It would be very competitive. It could go 7 games. And normally, I've said this before, I think Cooper almost prefers to be on the road for the first 2 games. We talked about that, because you feel like you can go in there and steal one, and then you've taken home ice back, and it's, whereas if you just win your first 2 home games, you've just held serve, right?
Yeah.
So it just feels like it's a chance to go in there and start fast and steal one. It kind of takes the momentum away from the other team. You get the home ice back, and then you try to win it in 6. The problem with that is if it does go 7, can you imagine what the Bell Center would be like? Montreal this year with the Lightning coming in there in a game 7. Holy shizbang. I mean, I'm not saying the Lightning aren't, they're professionals. They play really well on the road, but that would be an oppressive atmosphere to play in. Yeah. And I would much rather have that atmosphere in your building in game 7. So I think in terms of that, it's important. I think it's important to get, and what you feel is going to be a very competitive series that could go 7. You want that 7th game at home, big time. And I think, for the Lightning, that's why they need to finish strong and keep that second position and have that home ice. I think that's important.
Yeah, the biggest advantage in an NHL playoff series when they say home ice isn't early in the series. Although it's nice to be able to go up at home early in the series. It is if you go down to a game 7, because I mean I don't have the numbers in front of me, but we know JP from watching the NHL for a long time the advantage that a home team has in a game 7.
Yeah.
So that's really where that comes in, is I think later in a series more than early in a series, assuming the home team or the road team can keep up.
Danny Boy kind of echoes that. He said, that's what, JP, it's important that if we meet Montreal in game 7, it's at benchmark and not up there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Alejandro asks, does Victor Hedman, even though he is going to be out for the playoffs, but if we can win the cup, does he still get a ring? I ask because, for example, Kershaw's considered a 3-time champ, even though he was out 2024. Yeah, he played a lot of games for the Bolts this year. So if you play a certain amount of games, you get on the cup. So yeah, he would definitely be on the cup. And he would be the captain of the team on the cup.
And typically it's kind of at the team's discretion too, isn't it?
I do believe that's true.
Yeah,
I do believe that's
I don't think there's a hard, fast rule about, because we've talked about the Brian Engblom situation in 77 with his name on the cup and being credited with a ring, even though he barely played any and it was only in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
Rick says how sweet it would be to beat Montreal at their house and watch Tim cry while singing national anthem again.
I wouldn't cry. I'm a fan of both teams.
Yeah, you would.
You know what? I would cry French Canadian tears. They're different.
Might be the second time in recent years we win a cup without our captain. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Interesting.
So does it matter if the Lightning go on to win the cup this year? Do we put an asterisk next to it? I mean, the Panthers aren't in the playoffs. Does it even count? Should we even have the playoffs?
Shut up. Thank God we can actually have a fair playoff this year.
How happy are we that the Panthers aren't going to be in the playoffs?
Fantastic.
How great is that?
Get out of here with that. Any other Lightning related question? Rick says the Cooch goal was crazy. Always be aware of a fired up Cooch. Absolutely. John Hill says Cooch is the best Russian firepower. Yeah, well, don't bring him over there. He'll get drafted. Danny Boy said good W for last night for the Bolts. Tomorrow would be a possible first round preview when Boston comes to benchmark. Yeah, we could play them too. Absolutely. And there'll be lots of Beantowners there. Lots of Beantowners. Alejandro says, out of the 2 sports markets in Pennsylvania, I would say Pittsburgh fans are way better than Philadelphia fans and are less toxic. Absolutely. Eagles fans, Philadelphia fans are disgusting. They've earned, I hate to broad brush it, but they've earned it. They've earned it in a spectacular way. Too many stories of violence. Violence in fandom is great. Violence is completely uncalled for. And unfortunately, that's something that is wildly accepted and encouraged in Philadelphia. And that's just bullshit. It's sports. Grow up.
It's another trash city.
Yeah. That's actually a great city.
I agree.
All these cities were at one time great cities, I should say. It's a shame that so many of them have fallen into such disgust and disrepair and violence and all that. It's terrible. Failure
it used to be the capital of our country.
That's right. Right. If you've ever done the historical Philadelphia trips, we took the kids up there one summer, and absolutely, so many incredible places up there to take them to, and Independence Hall, Liberty Bell, but a lot of other historical sites all around, even outside of Philadelphia. It's a beautiful countryside. That's just amazing. Yeah. Good win for the Lightning last night, and they'll face Boston and head into the playoffs here soon. I really like their spot. The Panthers are gone. The Wicked Witch is dead. It's fantastic. So there's nobody on the East side that really, where you look at it and say, oh, that's a bad matchup. I think Carolina maybe this is their year. Who knows? I didn't like the way we played against them the last couple of times. It just felt like we couldn't get to our game. And, but that's regular season. Playoffs is a totally different deal. It's a totally different game. So we'll see. All right, let's take a break, and we'll come back on the other side. We have a lot of questions about the Rays Stadium and an update, and I want to get to some things Ken Babby said last night at one of the forums and the community investment tax controversy. I want to hit on that. So lots more coming your way. And Baker Mayfield, should we extend him or not? My opinion has changed based on this offseason for the Buccaneers, so we'll get to that. We are brought to you by the great folks at Pitch Roofing. PitchRoofing.com is the website, and they are offering you wonderful Petermans 20% off, or actually a discount. I don't know exactly what it is. It depends on what's going on. So they will give you a special JP Peterson discount at pitchroofing.com. If you call them, tell them you listen to the show. We appreciate you supporting the show. And get a free estimate. They'll give you a free estimate, let you know what's going on the roof. They will educate you as to the process so you don't get ripped off. They encourage you to get many estimates. But I think when it's all said and done, you will find out that with all the great Google reviews that they've done, all the testimonials that you can see on their website, and the fact that they are bonded, insured, and they will stand behind their warranty, that all lines up. Pitchroofing.com. Pitch Roofing, the only way to go. And they have the best shingles in the business. So they do. That's right. All right, back in 3. Here for Pitch Roofing, one of our new sponsors and the most reliable and honest roofers in the business. They love the Lightning, and Bolts fans be entered to win a pair of premium Mark Club seats with every free roofing estimate from Pitch Roofing. Seats include food and beverages, early access, premium entry, and a backstage tour of Lightning Vision with yours truly. Always get 2 to 3 estimates when replacing your roof, and be sure to include Pitch as one of those roofing companies. With a free estimate from Pitch, they're not trying to hard sell you. They educate you on your roof and the process. Even if you do not choose Pitch Roofing as your roofer, they want to leave you feeling informed, knowing the different materials and manufacturers, and understanding the process and warranties. Very, very important. Pitch is an Owens Corning preferred contract, Better Business Bureau accredited, and My Safe Florida Home approved. That's very important as well. Pitch prides themselves on full transparency and customer first level of service. They also offer financing options, including 0% plans, ensuring a stress-free experience. Call my friends at Pitch Roofing, 727-67-PITCH. That's 727-677-4824, or go to pitchroofing.com.
Pitch Roofing, roofing done right.
As the Rays enjoy being back in their Tropicana Field home this season that was ravaged by Hurricane Milton, Italiano Insurance wants to remind us all how important it is to be properly insured. 40% of you are underinsured. That can mean financial disaster. Let the experienced and friendly agents at Italiano shop your policies for the best price and the right coverage. Italiano saved me over $1,000 on our auto insurance last year, over $500 on our homeowners insurance. They can do the same for you. That's a grand slam. Might as well get a double play by adding flood insurance and business insurance to your portfolio. Cost less than you think, and trust me, you do not want to risk your home or personal wealth. That's a whiff. So step up to the plate and call 813-877-7799 and chat with our all-star agents at Italiano Insurance, or call our Boca Grande office at 941-964-0400. JP here for Riveters, the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. We're located just south of Ray J and Steinbrenner Field, so it's a great pre- and post-game spot, and the happy hour is amazing. Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Check out these specials. $3 Bud Light drafts, $4 domestic bottles, $5 wells, $6 premium wells, $6 cocktails like margaritas. That's unheard of. And the Riveters food is freshly made daily. No freezers. Happy hour food specials include $3.50 tacos and barbecue sliders. $6 you get edamame or chips with the beer cheese, which is amazing. $8 buffalo chicken dip, my favorite. The truffle fries, chili cheese fries, also $8 at happy hour, as well as other specials throughout the week, including Taco Tuesdays, you get $3 tacos, and Wing Wednesdays, 7 o'clock to 1 a.m. in the morning, you get our amazing wings, 5 for $5 and $5 wells and wines. That's a good Wednesday night. So if you're tired of the preppy, overpriced, generic sports bars, come see the amazing, friendly bartenders and staff at Riveters, where customer service really matters. Riveters, just south of where the Rays and Bucs play. We'll see you there. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's a love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey, lots going on at Genesis of Tampa, selling amazing vehicles and doing great things in the community. And March is Gray Bull Rescue Military Appreciation Month. A portion of all vehicle purchases go towards a donation to Gray Bull Rescue, who recently saved dozens of Americans from the cartel violence in Mexico. A great organization. St. Patrick's Day is coming up. Wear green, buy green, save green. Wear green to Genesis of Tampa on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, for $500 off any vehicle in stock. Buy anything green that's green in color, the cars, SUVs, you get $1,000 off. Also, buy a vehicle between March 14th and 17th, and you'll be entered to win a trip to Ireland on us. How about that? Of course, Genesis vehicles are the best in class for value, technology, luxury. And there's a National Genesis Signature event going on currently to get 1.9% financing. Limitations apply. Whether it's the G70, G80, 90 sedans, or the incredible SUV lineup, take a test drive and see what everyone is talking about. It's special. Genesis of Tampa, 801 East Bears Avenue. Tell them JP sent you.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on this gorgeous Good Friday. Hope you guys have a great weekend planned. I know I do. Programming note, we will be out in Colorado next week, so Timmy and the great Nikki Numbers will have the Monday show. The rest of the week is TBA, depending on stadium developments. So we will be on call as we are on vacation, because that's what we do for you, Petermans. That's what we do.
Work on vacation.
That's what we do. Vacation. What vacation? And then we'll be heading over. I just got a picture of mine.
Is there even still snow on the mountain?
Actually, thank God, we just got 16 inches of snow over the last 2 days because it has been snowless.
In April.
Yeah. April actually is March and April. They get the most snow. Now it also melts faster, but
It's Breckenridge, right?
yeah, Breckenridge, which is at base of Breckenridge is like 10,000 feet.
Yeah. I used to ski Breckenridge every year. I never went this late in the season.
I always go in April. Nobody's there.
It was always a February trip for me.
No, we usually go in March and April, right, or April, because especially April, right after April 1st, it's a ghost town, which is fantastic because it can get really, really crowded. Mm-hmm. And it's just gotten so ridiculously expensive in Colorado because they allowed most of the mountains to be controlled by one company, another freaking ridiculous mergers that were allowed. And now they own a huge portion of almost every mountain in Colorado. I'm trying to think of what the hell the name of the company is. But anyway, they own Keystone, they own Vail, they own Breckenridge. Copper Mountain is still separate. But they jacked the prices so much. Copper's like, well, we can jack ours up too and still make more money. So it's kind of a cartel. But anyway, we'll get some snow. We can get out there and hopefully get out on the slopes. But I also got a picture. Scotty Fisk sent me a picture of my Masters ticket. And
can you use that to get in?
No, I'm just saying that. Look at that. Oh, wow. Very excited. Very excited. All right. We are brought to you, by the way, by the great folks at Riveters. If you're going to watch Rays games, by the way, they have drink specials going on. $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas. Try to find that anywhere in South Tampa. You ain't going to find it. And you'll get a great pour and you'll get great service and the best food, absolutely the best food in town at any sports bar. I can guarantee you that. The wings are fantastic. All the great bar menu stuff will be on opening day. They'll have the happy hour going. So head on over to Riveters if you want to watch the opening day. If you're not going to the game, Riveters, Tampa. You know where it is? Just north of 275 on Dale Mabry, just south of the stadium, next to the spaceship. Right. Absolutely. All right. We had a question from one of the Petermans. Can you give us an update on the stadium? Well, let's just start with that, shall we? So there is a legal opinion being sought for this SITS tax, if they can use it's almost $500 million part of this deal for the stadium. Now, I talked to a couple folks yesterday on this matter that are connected to county and city government, and at least one attorney. And for my understanding, so basically what it comes down, what is the language of the bill? Could this be used for new stadium? Now, there was a conversation when this was being put to the ballot by the county commissioners when they were writing the language of should we not use this money for new stadiums? And there was some talk within the commissioners that it wouldn't be, but that was never put into the final language. And it was, and let's be, the way it's characterized to me is this guy, Joshua Wostall, who hates the project and is grandstanding about it and trying to blow it up with, by exposing all these emails and wants to put all these documents out there that aren't finished documents. And they never do this. It's never part of the process, but he's trying to change the process. And he was outvoted dramatically. That they're not going to do that. They're going to wait till they get a term sheet when everything's negotiated, and then they're going to present it to the public and do a public workshop where people can come in and talk about the pros and cons of it and be heard. And they're going to do, and then have public forums, et cetera, which is the right way to do it. So Wallstall loses again. And it's just a guy that just wants to grandstand and tank the deal. And if you want to lend any credibility to it, I would not, because it's not part of how these things are usually done. And there are other people, as I said yesterday, that are trying to tank this deal for selfish reasons, for selfish property reasons, and maybe because they weren't included in the ownership group. That's not cool either. So we got a lot of stuff going on right now. But the bottom line is, what are the votes? What are the votes? What does the term sheet look like? And we don't have that yet. And frankly, this is partly on the Rays. The Rays have not. They don't have sufficient answers to everything that is needed right now. Maybe they do by now. As of last week, they did not. You know, according to Eric Hart and others at the TSA, they need more answers, especially on the roof. So that's, part of this process. And everybody's like, well, why do we have to get it done by 29? Why do we have to get it done by 29? A lot of it's politics. The money for the Hillsborough College has been put into the budget for this year. This is a DeSantis project that he wants to get done. And by the way, this is more information that was spewed in the TBT today about Hillsborough College. The fact of the matter is, and Dr. Atwater has said this, the guy that runs Hillsborough College, they needed $70 million for their dilapidated buildings. And they were having a real tough time finding that funding. But when this opportunity came available, where they're, essentially creating $8 million worth of taxable property that does not exist now and would not exist if not for this stadium, that allows them to then be able to get that money, that $70 million in property taxes over the 30 years and basically pay for a new Hillsborough College. That's why he's so excited about this. They were in a conundrum. They couldn't get the funding to fix the place. And now this comes along and it's like, oh, this is awesome, because the state and the county, or the county and the state, are going to invest in this, and it's going to create this bigger district, which is going to create more tax money. And that's the thing that keeps getting missed. Spectrum did a whole story last night on Ken Babby's public forum last night, and they spent the whole time talking about the CIT tax and what it's going to cost taxpayers, and they never talk about the benefits. They also just talk about the stadium. This is not just a stadium. This is a mixed-use project of $8 to $10 billion. They never talk about the investment that the private side is making. They only talk about the public investment. and it skews the entire argument. If I came to you and I said, hey, this guy wants $500 million of our tax money, what do you think? You'd be like, F that. If I came to you and said, hey, this guy wants to invest $8 to $10 billion into your project, and he needs $500 million of your tax money to help get it started, and you're going to get that back 4 and 5-fold, are you in? Of course. I mean, how does that change the dynamic? Dramatically. But yet the press doesn't talk about it. And it's not that hard to just put it out there. If you say, oh, we don't have all the time to explain that. Well, it's an actually really factual part of the deal. Mm-hmm. And you're completely misrepresenting the deal when you don't talk about it. Be better. It's a very simple thing when it comes to journalism. I went to journalism school. I know how this is supposed to work. You present both sides of the argument, and you let the viewer, listener, reader decide. Very simple. Not one side of the argument, not the negative side of the argument to get clicks. You present both sides. It's not hard. And when you don't do it, you are not only not a journalist, you are a propaganda, agenda-driven entity, because you're only presenting one side, and usually the side that, for whatever reason, your bosses want you to do or you're more inclined to do. But it's not hard. And to say, even if you said, well, that's not the aspect that we were covering, you can't say that because they're completely intertwined. As I just explained to you, it's a completely different story when you flush it all out as it should be. And it's a completely different choice for the viewer and the listener and the reader when you flush it out, not when you're narrowly looking at one thing, which is the expense to the taxpayer. So you have the ubiquitous story. Oh, we're at the public forum. Taxpayers talk about, hey, we want public safety. We want roads. We want this. We want that. We don't want to give our money to billionaires. And then and then they have a soundbite from Ken Babby, basically saying, well, we believe there's enough money for everything, which is a fine response, but it's not the complete response that he made that talks about returning that money to the taxpayer. And it's critical. So anyway, back to the CIT. So the legal argument over this, and John Romano actually wrote a column about it, somewhat, says they could find a loophole. It's not a loophole. It's not a loophole. It's how you interpret it. And the language is the language. And they specifically did not put new stadiums in there. Okay. And if the language isn't, if it doesn't exclude new stadiums, it says public facilities. And the people I talked to last night said this would be a public facility. So it would be covered under the CIT. So then you go to voter intent. Okay. This is part of it. So this legal opinion would have to look at voter intent. Now, do you think the voters were listening into the commissioner's meeting when they put the language in this? And that's why they thought that it wasn't going to be for stadiums and they voted for it. That is such a humongous stretch. Have you ever watched the county commission meeting? 99.9% of you have never watched it and certainly weren't watching that specific one when they talked about it. So to act like voter intent was, oh, I heard them talking about that. I don't even see it in the press. In fact, we talked about this when the SITs was being voted on. I said, yeah, we could use this for a Rays stadium. Talk with Ken Hagan. He said, yeah, we can. Absolutely. And that was always the understanding. And here's the other thing. If you want to talk about voter intent, everybody knows that the SITs taxed built Raymond James Stadium. So if you want to talk about voter intent, I think if you asked any Hillsborough voter and said, hey, can SITs money be used to, and first of all, 99% wouldn't even know what SITs is. In fact, one of the members of the TSA that I talked to when we were going over this didn't know what SITs was. And I had to explain it to him, which is a bad thing. So yeah, you would say, well, that built Raymond James Stadium. So yeah, of course it could. That's why I voted for it. So I think this legal challenge is going to go the way of the Rays and the county commissioners that believe it can be used for public subsidies. And again, there's $3.5 billion over this that will be collected over this next 15 years in the SITs tax. And by the way, the life of the stadium is 30. So it's actually going to be $7 billion or more that will be in this half penny sales tax if we extend it for another 15 years. We don't have to get this done. And yet, and there's, if you know, this is 500 million, about 470 something, I think, that they want as part of this deal. And the Bucs will probably get a 500 billion to pay half of their renovation. So yeah, there's enough money for everybody to go around in the sits tax, conceivably. So those should not be hindrances. Now, so where does it stand? So in my mind, this is in my mind, the Rays need to still answer some very important questions as to design. And I think the engineers are still trying to redesign that roof and figure out exactly what it's going to cost. And I think they're also trying to get to a final number of what that stadium should cost. I think the original number probably included a lot of stuff that should not be included. And if you're looking specifically at the stadium. And this is how these negotiations go. There are some plans at other stadiums where these things are included and some they're not. So if you're on the Rays side, you're going to ask for them to be included. And, the public side is probably going to say, yeah, that's probably shouldn't be included. That should probably be in mixed use. And that's part of the negotiation. They'll go, okay, that'll be separate. So that brings the cost down. And so that, and I think, and I'm being very simplistic about this. Okay. So that's just the concepts that they're working through right now. And they're still trying to, there's different elements of the roof that they're trying to design, and they're having to make choices on, what it's going to look like, what it's going to do, how functional is it going to be. There's some other minutia that I've been told, and we're not going to get into that, but there's multi-uses for the stadium, and that could change the design as well. So these are all fluid things, and we're coming up to a vote, and we don't have a lot of those answers as of last week. And I think the Rays are working diligently to do that. But again, when you're designing these huge freaking stadiums, this stuff takes time. It takes a lot of time. So I think where we're at right now is they're trying to get to that negotiation, that term sheet. You've heard a lot of quotes from city council and other people involved in it that we're about 80% there. So I think this is the part where, there's going to be probably an ask to the Rays, hey, can you come up with more money? Because they've constantly said we'll pay at least 50%. So this may be at the point where the Rays are like, hey, we're going to need a little bit more money. Babby goes back to some of the investors and say, hey, we're going to have to come up with some more money. They make that decision and we move forward. So I still think we're in a good place. I know there's a lot of negativity. There are no 100%, but when you're counting the votes, and that's what matters, what matters public opinion at this point really doesn't matter. And I shouldn't say that. The negativity on social media, the negativity in media, other media doesn't matter. It will shape public opinion. That matters. And that certainly affects the commissioners and the city commissioners and the county commissioners, city council and the county commissioners. And they're the ones that are going to have to vote. And they understand this better than anybody. So once we get this final term sheet and we can all kind of look at what the final costs are, who's paying what, et cetera, I think it's going to look really good to the taxpayer. And in that case, we move forward and hopefully we get the votes. And I think there's the political will to do it. And again, email your city council person, email your county commissioner, and don't stop. Keep it going, because there's negative forces out there that are trying to tank this deal for selfish reasons. And don't let that happen. It's too big of a deal. We've talked about the aspirational stuff ad nauseum. I'm not going to go back into that pitch. We did that yesterday. But if you're looking for an update, that's where I think it is right now, based on conversations I've had with people that are in the negotiations, outside of the negotiations, within government. So,
JP, the way things are progressing right now, Mr. Peterson, I have a two-part question.
Yes, sir. Man in the back with the scraggly beard.
Tim Ham, Fan Stream Sports, Tampa Bay.
Oh, love the show. Love the show, babe. You guys are great.
Thank you. Don't hear that very often. I'm just kidding. Would you say the way things are progressing that we are on schedule or behind schedule for the very aggressive 2029 opening?
Still on schedule. On schedule. Okay. With a possibility of not being on schedule if this vote does not go the way some of us hope it will.
If this vote does not go the way some of us think it will or hope it will,
And this let me just say, this vote will fail because we don't have the required information.
right?
That's what if it fails, it will be because the Rays just have not been able to get together the requisite information that the county and city needs. And that's not, and again, it's not something that they've done wrong. It's just how ambitious this timetable is. And listen, for me, start with great ambition and try to get it done. I think their approach has been great, fantastic, perfect. Well, not perfect, but fantastic. It takes a long time, and they're going to have to come up with these things, or basically just say we're going to pay for it. They'll say we're doing the cost overruns, so this is the X amount of dollars that we need to get it done. So I still think there's definitely a framework and a deal to be had, but it's politics, so we'll see.
My second part of my question,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Peterson,
Make it
thank
quick,
you for
please.
being patient with us here. Why do you believe that some local media insists on spreading misinformation to cover their own agendas? And what do you think their agenda is in all of this?
I think it's part political. They hate Ron DeSantis. They hate anything coming from the right side, and that's I don't even think that's debatable. So they don't want to see any success, and they've long been a champion of keeping the stadium in St. Petersburg, and maybe think that it still will be. I also noticed there's a lot of nostalgic stories about the Trop and how great it is, and I think that's kind of like, hey, why don't we just stay here? Why don't we just stay here forever and or at least for another 10 years? No. This thing was designed in 1981. Okay. It's time for something new, and it's time for a new location. So no, we're not going back to St. Pete.
We had a lot of sentimental feelings towards Texas Stadium.
Yeah.
Opened in 1971, finally shut it down in 2008. Blew the thing up in 2011. It was a glorious day. I was never a fan of that place after all the when it was built, and for the time it was wonderful, but they made so many renovations to it that distorted the way it looked, and the
lipstick on a pit. Yeah.
It was terrible. It was a toilet. Nobody cared that we were replacing Texas Stadium. Our two recently replaced baseball stadiums. Nobody was romantic towards the old Arlington Stadium other than just memories as a kid, know. Because it was a toilet. It was a minor league baseball built in the early 60s. But the ballpark in Arlington, I will tell you, when we replay, and it was a surprise. Nobody knew the new stadium was coming. It was not even talked about. Our old stadium wasn't even 30 years old yet.
I know. And I thought it was great.
But the only thing was the heat. That is the number one complaint. Yeah. About I hate to see it go, but I'm glad to get AC, right?
Yeah.
We never saw that coming here, but I've been to the Trop, man. I was at the Trop when it was new in the early 90s, and it was not, even then, it was not nice. I was like, what is this? I didn't get it. I thought I was in a convention center, is the feeling I got.
Yeah, it's a Walmart. You feel like you're in a now they've done, and that was back when you were there, it was so sterile. It was a freaking dentist office. It was awful. And they, I think Sternberg did some good things, tiki bars and, warmed it up a little bit, got some kind of cool stuff there. So he definitely made it better. No question about it. They put some money into it, but it's just so outdated in terms the loge areas, the food court areas are so small. The hallways are just tiny. You just can't get around. It's what these old ballparks were. They don't have these large, loge throughways and the great amenities that these new parks have. The suites, for instance, don't even point towards home plate. A lot of the seats in the beginning didn't point towards home plate. If you were in the outfield, it pointed towards the outfield. So you had to sit at a 45-degree angle to watch the action. It's just so ill-conceived. And don't even get me started on the freaking catwalks. It's just, it's so ill-conceived. And as things get older, we all look at it with a little bit of nostalgia. I get it. I totally get it. But good God, no, we're done. 3 years of saying goodbye is plenty. I don't want to add another year. I want to get the hell out of there. And guess what? After about a year of this or less, being back in the Trop, you're all going to be God, can't wait till we get to the new stadium. Yeah, because it's not. nostalgic. It's not. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. We've had our memories there,
Sure.
and it's all. But for me, it's like the Orange Bowl. I mean, the Orange Bowl. I have so many great memories in the Orange Bowl. It's just incredible. The Chargers Dolphins get a playoff game of 83 or 82. The national championship game, the Hurricanes and the Huskers in 83. All the Dolphin games that I saw there, just incredible memories. FSU Miami games, but that was a shithole. It was awful. It was an erector set, steel bench seats, which are about this wide. You're like sitting in the other person's lap. You don't even know. It was, but it was loud and it was intimidating and it was all that, parking there, getting in and out was a flipping nightmare. I mean, you could get parked by there was no parking. So you had to park in people's driveways and they would park people behind you. So if those people went to the Orange Bowl bar and got drunk, you'd be sitting there waiting to get out for like 2 hours. It was a disaster. And, when they replaced it, thank God. But the location of that stadium ain't so great either. But anyway,
Right.
It's nostalgia is one thing, but we need a new park, and the way they're going about this, I think, and doing the mixed use is just it's a brilliant plan. I love it.
It's overdue. It's overdue.
Well overdue. Do we have any other baseball related?
I have a
questions?
baseball related thing I have to share from our local Rangers, JP, because I'd like
Yes,
to get
sir.
your thoughts on this and the Peterman's thoughts, as we have a new food item that the Texas Rangers have. And look, I need some backstory here. For those that don't know, if you go to your ballpark, whatever park that might be, wherever you live, and you enjoy some stadium nachos, you can have the great Chuck Morgan from the Texas Rangers organization to thank for that, because he invented those in the 70s at the old original Arlington Stadium.
The nacho?
Ballpark nachos, the melted cheese and the chips combination.
Okay.
That was invented
First of all,
here in Arlington.
that ain't cheese. That ain't cheese.
Cheese-like substance that comes with ballpark nachos.
That they pump.
By the way, which I will eat all day long. I freaking love that stuff. I make ballpark nachos at home.
It's good. You know what? It's like, again, you don't want to know how it's made, but it's freaking good.
So Chuck
It's
Morgan
really
has
freaking
been
good.
the stadium announcer, the PA announcer voice of the
So
Texas
he
Rangers.
invented the pourable nachos.
He invented the pourable nachos. He was
Wow.
also in the 70s, and he still has a little bit to do with it to this day. Some of the marketing and promotions for the team, right? And that involved a little crossover into the food.
Nice tidbit.
His latest invention, JP, he may have outdone himself here in the state of Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas. We love our cowboy hats. How about the nacho sombrero?
Oh, give me that.
Available
that.
for purchase at Globe Life Field for 2026.
Oh, my God. Give me that.
Great is that?
That's fantastic. And I'll tell you what, if you go to there and you don't, you must eat the nachos while someone is wearing the hat. You can't put it in your lap.
Oh, no. It's got to be on the head.
I'm sorry. You just, that's the way that has to be done. So bring a short person. A child will do.
Most of the women I date are short, so I'm good.
A child will do. Ashley's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect size. So I'll sit her down, and then she wears the hat, and then we eat the nachos. Oh, my God. That's
How
beautiful.
great is that?
That is beautiful.
But you have all the toppings inside the hat, around the edge of the hat there. You've got you can do beans, you can do ground beef, you can do.
And then you can take it home with you and do that at home. Come here, kids. You know how you pass the bowl around? You don't have to. It's like, walk around, kid.
That is so
One kid.
great, man. He has outdone himself.
Outstanding. Thank you for that. Love that. Alex Nunn says, you know what I'll never get? The people have no problem with the Bucs taking whatever money they want. Bitch about the Rays. Yeah, I wanted to address this. And listen, this is not anti-Bucs, right? At all. But their timing of coming in now is a little sus. I mean, let's just be honest about that. But again, we don't know what they're going to ask for. If they come in and say, hey, we just, that $500 million that you set aside, that's good. That's what we're looking for. Just want to let you know we're all in on the Rays thing, and we're partnering with them, and we love it. They could say that. We don't know. So let's not crush them just yet. So, but if they come in and say, hey, that we don't want that over there. We don't want that over there. And you giving them money? Like, no. We're the big dog here, and we get the money. Now, if they do that, no. That's not cool. That is not cool. If they sink this deal, you think the Glazers were vilified before? They might be looking around and seeing a lot of negativity on social media and stuff like that, but there's still a lot of Rays fans here. They are the majority. They're just at work and can't be on social media like the Michael Cronins of the world and these other dudes that show up in every freaking online session. They have jobs and kids and, games to go to. They can't sit on Facebook and respond to everybody. So they would be miscalculating if they think that the most of the people are against this deal. Mm-hmm. I think people want this overwhelmingly once they understand the deal. Now, if you just tell them, hey, we're giving $1 billion to the Rays and that's, we're not getting anything back. No, people will say no. It's how you present it. So if the Bucs do that now, and remember this, and I ran the numbers yesterday, put this up on Twitter. When the Rays were going in 08, 9, and 10, or 9, 10 as well, they averaged 23,000 fans per game at the Trop. Okay. It's over 1.8 million fans. You know how many total fans the Bucs had in their best Brady year? 569,000. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, because there's 81 games. There's only 10 football games. Okay. So when we talk about economic impact, now listen, I know this is a Bucs town. I'm not saying it's not. Football is king. Mm-hmm. I totally get that. 100%. It's a Bucs town, which, if we had to choose between one or the other from a city standpoint, from a world standpoint, I would reluctantly have to say NFL. We got to keep our NFL team if we had to choose. We don't have to. There are lots of cities that can support all of them, and we're certainly one of them. We're the 11th largest market. We can support 3 teams. Should not even be a question mark. And people who do question that are flat out wrong. Why can all these other cities do it that are much smaller than Tampa Bay, and we can't? And those cities are declining in population while ours is increasing. That makes no sense. I understand per capita income is the thing, but our per capita income is going up because of all the companies and things that are moving here. And if you continue to build things like this that are aspirational and iconic and wonderful, more people will continue to move here. And this will be the hub. So that's all part of it too. That's that halo effect part of it. So, and the Rays in terms of economic impact, which would be more important to Tampa, it's not even close. Bringing 1.8 million people into an area, and that's just for baseball. That doesn't count concerts and all the other activities, Final Fours and whatever else you can put in that stadium now that it has a roof and air conditioning and climate control.
Right.
WrestleMania, blah, 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 All-Star Game, World Baseball Class, all those things. NFL Draft could be here, Final Four, all those things. You bring all that into play. And they're counting on their projections, 10 million people coming to this place because it's twice the size of the Battery, and the Battery did 9 million last year. And that's not even a tourist destination in terms of a tourist economy in Atlanta. Florida is. So their projections of 10 million, I think, may even be low. So in terms of economic impact, which project would be better for the taxpayer? It's the Rays project by far. And Clendenin on the TSA and the city council said that the other day. And, and it's absolutely 100% true. So it's if the Bucs understand, I understand they're the big dog. They are. But they also have to continue to be great community partners as they have been. And yeah, do they get an inordinate amount of revenue from a stadium? Sure, they do. The new deal will probably not be that. It'll be more fair to the taxpayers. And the Glazers know this. They absolutely know this. They have money. They don't want to screw the taxpayer. They want to partner. So I don't want to get too vitriolic on the Buccaneers until we know what their intentions are. And again, if they come in like a big dog, trying to kill this Rays deal, that's not cool. That is 100% not cool. And I don't expect that at all. That's not the way they operate.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if that was the case. And they will, and if they do try to do that, they will be met with a lot of public disdain. If I were their PR firm, I would say, no, that is a really, really bad idea. The county will bend over at least with $500 million for, which is, they're talking about $1 billion renovation. That's half and half. That's what was done in Jacksonville. That's typically what's been done in a lot of places. And I think that's fair. And we have the money to do that and the money to do the Rays Stadium as well. And both of these projects will bring back tons and tons of economic impact. That's why they just approved the Phillies deal over in Clearwater. That's another $80 million. And that's for a minor league spring training stadium. And they're doing a whole mixed use project. Why? Because these things work. People want to go to see iconic stadiums and be around them and be around sports teams, be outside, be in the community. They work. Now, we may be in a little bit of danger of overbuilding them, but you could just look at Midtown Tampa. I think a lot of people scoffed at that whole idea 10 years ago. And it's been a tremendous success because people are moving here and you're going to fill up the restaurants and the bars and the retail because it's, that people need places to shop and go out. And we're building newer places and great places all the time. So I think it's a win-win. Alejandro says, honestly, yes, while the Bucs were here first and then the Lightning and the Rays came later, the Rays and Lightning are king. Lightning with all the winning and Stanley Cups have to show for it. I wouldn't say that, Alejandro. I think the Bucs are still the big dog in this town. Now, in terms of economic impact, yeah, the Lightning, look what they did with Water Street. You want to talk about economic impact? Once again, city and county invested $100 million with Jeffrey Vinnick and got back $1.2 billion in property taxes so far. That was a great investment. And Jeffrey Vinnick went out and got Bill Gates to invest in Water Street, $3 billion. That's exactly what the Rays are trying to do. That thing has been wildly successful for the city and county. That is a perfect example of what investing with these sports teams can do for you. And nobody the people that don't want this Rays deal, the Times never talks about that stuff. Never. You think they've done, have you seen an interview with Bob Buckhorn like the one we did? Nope. Sure haven't. The only time they've ever really discussed the benefits of this project is when they allowed Will Weatherford to write a opinion piece and printed it and then buried it on the website after a couple of days. So, yeah, I mean, and that's where a lot of this negativity is coming from. I think it's a very vocal minority. Rick says the Glazers could be the hero with helping Rays and themselves at the same time. Yeah, absolutely, Rick. And frankly, this is what I expect. This is what I expect. I don't expect the Glazers to come in here and nix this deal. Now, you can say,
well, especially if they're, as we might think, intent on selling the team.
Yeah.
What would be the point of that?
No, nothing. I mean, why take the bad PR if you're going to get out anyway?
Yeah.
And again, that's just that hasn't been reported anywhere.
Right,
that's
right,
just
right.
my opinion and just reading the tea leaves. I'm not saying it's definite. It just feels a lot like it to me. But one of the reasons I said that is because they had not come forward to the TSA yet and with what their renovations wanted to be. So, and, if indeed they were thinking about selling, whoever they're thinking about selling to would certainly be talking with the Glazers and saying, hey, we got to get this ball rolling. Even though we're not there yet, we got to get this ball rolling. So this is what we're thinking. So, yeah, and that could be a godsend too. Think about this. If, because we know that Jeff Bezos is sniffing around and wants to buy an NFL team. If I'm not mistaken, he was involved with is he trying to buy Seattle or maybe it was the Redskins? Maybe it was the Redskins.
Yeah.
So, if he's looking to buy and wants to come here and buy the Bucs and build Amazon Stadium with a lot of his own money and lots of expensive free agents, ooh, sign me up for another Prime membership. I'm in. Yeah. Let's stop building them rockets, man. Let Elon do that. Come over here and build me a $3 billion spaceship. with all the accoutrement.
You can't upstage the current spaceship, though. That's still important, too.
Yeah, like I said, where the Rays are, where the Rays are, there's strip clubs over there. So it's zoned for that. So if you want to have a pole up in the left field corner, adults only, how about it? How about it? Wouldn't that be just you always want to have a nod to the culture of the town, right? We can't ignore our strippers. Come on now. I said in jest. It's the first stadium with a stripper pole.
It probably wouldn't be.
No, actually it wouldn't be. It actually would not be. That you've heard of. Yes. That's 100%. Things that go on in the bullpen that you don't know about. Absolutely.
By the way, have you heard this crazy thing out of Babby's still owner of the Jumbo Shrimp, right?
I don't know.
Have you seen their latest promotion?
Mm-mm.
Shrimp flavored cotton candy. I kid you not. I saw this on there because I follow him on X.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
That's a no for me, dog.
There's no way.
A no for me, dog.
Crazy.
No. And we were talking about this last night too, about when I put that out on X about the fans that would come in, and people were like, nah, it's still going to be 20,000. I said, you got to remember, Stu never wanted fans in there because then he had to staff the place, and he would have to market to get more fans, so you had to spend marketing dollars. He would rather not spend any marketing dollars, look like a poor team, and then take the $60 million in rev share money. So he was like, why do I want to spend $30 million in marketing? I might get fans to come all the way over here because I'm in such a bad location. Why don't I just forego the marketing money, put that money in my pocket, put all the revenue sharing money in and I still get the revenue sharing. So for the bottom line, I'm still making more money. I don't care how many fans come to the game. I could just still cry poor and still make hundreds of millions of dollars. So they never marketed the team like other teams market the team. I mean, you could see that just in 1 year with Ken Babby, all the different things they're doing, $10 tickets to get that they actually do, not just do once in a while. They're doing all different kinds of things. In fact, you can call them up if you want to build your own season ticket plan. They'll say, yeah, just call us up. We'll figure it out. You want 7 games, you want 12 games, you want 18 games. I don't care. They'll figure it out.
Make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're marketing, and you'll see this as the season goes on. All the promotions and everything that's going to go on. They actually want butts and seats. So it's going to be totally different. I think there'll be an increase in attendance. We'll see, but it's still the same bad location, unfortunately. All right. Anything else we need to get to before we hit a break? Let's just hit a break, and I will choose so many of your great comments that are coming in. Big O's going to join us. So we're going to talk Rays baseball on the field at the end of the show. So be prepared for that. Get your questions in on this, and he's got he sent me a little blurb on the on-base percentages for the Rays and what they should be doing. So it will be fun talking baseball on the field with him. All right, so we are brought to you by the great folks at Genesis of Tampa. I just got my GV70. It's a 2023, but it is absolutely just like new. I got a great deal on it. These Genesis cars, folks, I'm telling you, the technology, the luxury that you get for the price is just, it's incomparable. And these folks at Genesis of Tampa really know how to treat the customer, and they want to sell cars. They're a new dealership in the Genesis family, and they want to take over the market, and they're doing a hell of a job doing it, and they're offering it great prices, great trade-in. They're doing a thing in April, like bring whatever you can, tow it in, and we'll give you money for your trade. That's genesisoftampa.com. You can go to the website, see all the cars there. Better yet, just stop by this weekend and tell them JP sent you. Always something fun going on over there. It's a great atmosphere. Genesis of Tampa, 801 East Bears Avenue, just off of 275. Back at 3. Well, the folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC want to say thanks for making them so dadgum busy. Of course, advertising on your favorite Tampa Bay sports talk show helps, but it's their incredible customer service, honesty, and integrity that have earned them tons of 5-star reviews. And now you could be part of the team at Third Generation. Yes, they are so slammed, they need to hire more certified AC technicians and plumbers. It's a great family business to work for. My buddy John Rodriguez runs an old school family business since 1995. They pay well, give you all the holidays off, and they offer great benefits. No cold corporate atmosphere here. You're part of the family. If this sounds cool to you, call them and apply at 813-961-8024, or you can email your resume in at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Just go to the website, you'll see the button, email them, or call them at 813-961-8024. And don't forget about the $169 yearly maintenance special. It's a no-brainer, guys. thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and they also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our FanStream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream, fanstreamsports.com.
Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back. Joe Boyle starting for the Rays tonight in frigid Minnesota. It will be just above 30 degrees when they start. No snow today. There'll be snow on the ground, though, the corners. So welcome to.
I thought they had a roof.
Not in Minnesota for their football.
Oh,
game.
I'm thinking of the Milwaukee Stadium.
Yeah, we just came from Miller Park. Is it still Miller Park?
I don't
Should be.
believe so.
Anyway, thanks to the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. April is Diamond Month, so get on over there. 20% off all your diamonds, up to 20% off. And don't forget, bring your old gold jewelry in, your broken gold jewelry. Gold is at an all-time high. They'll give you big dollars for that, and you can buy something new for yourself. They got a great men's selection there, Rolex watches as well. And also, don't forget WMOR TV, your new local sports carrier, so you don't have to have an app for Rays games. They're doing 10 of them this year, starting with the opener on Monday, right, against the Cubs. So they'll have that on MOR TV for free. So you don't need the app or anything. You can watch it there. And also the Magic game tonight. Tonight they're taking on Dallas. I believe that's in your horrific town there. And Dallas, then they've lost 13 straight home games.
Horrific town?
I did. I don't like Dallas. Magic, what? Frisco's nice. And Arlington's nice. Dallas proper. Me.
I'm not there with you.
Yeah. But the arena's downtown. So that's where the Magic will be playing tonight. You can watch that on MOR TV. Pregame starts at 8. Game starts at 8:30. Magic in a scramble for that last playoff spot. I want to see them get in, see what they could do this year. They're 2-8 in their last 10, so they need to get it going. They're in the last playoff spot where they're ninth. Charlotte's 8th. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they got to win, and this is a must-win against a really bad Dallas team. And
just make it into the playoff, the play-in game. That's really all you got to do, and then anything can happen after that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where they're at right now. So you can watch that on MOR TV, your new local sports leader at MOR.
By the way, do you realize here in Dallas we are still having fallout from the Luka trade? As Mark Cuban now just a minority owner of the team,
right.
Obviously is part of the with the Adelsons now running things. Mark Cuban did a sit-down interview with one of our local sports individuals and threw his old coach under the bus.
Really? Jason
Kidd, he claims, and I totally agree with this, because Jason Kidd and Luka never got along. Because Jason, he likes defense. Luka still doesn't play defense.
Yeah.
And now there is some outcry. There's some backlash now for Jason Kidd here in town, and there's a contingent of fans who would love to see him leave. Much like Nico was fired. And I've been on this since Jason Kidd got here.
How long has he been there? It's been a while, right?
Kidd's one of my favorite all-time Mavericks players.
Yeah, I loved him.
Right, co-rookie of the year in the 95 season alongside Grant Hill. An icon of the franchise, clearly part of the 2011 championship team after he returned after being gone. But, dude, as a coach, I don't get it. He's never been successful anywhere he's been. As an assistant, not as a head coach.
Yeah.
And he doesn't connect with a lot of the players. Some of them he does. The stars, a lot of times, he does not get along with. And that is what's happening here.
He's no Doc Rivers.
No, come on. So we may have, when you say this thing's a mess, this thing is a mess in more ways than on the court. So
how's Cooper doing? I saw he's only averaging 11 a game.
Well, because Jason Kidd won't play him in the spots he needed. Don't forget, he started the season playing point guard, JP.
Right.
Exactly. Jason Kidd put him at point guard to start the season.
He's not a point guard.
No. He's never played point guard at any level of basketball.
Yeah, he's a 2 guard, right?
Or 3.
Or 3, yeah.
Yeah, if they still have those numbers. I don't think they have those numbers anymore.
Yeah. Positionless basketball, right? Absolutely. So anyway, there's your Magic update. All right, wanted to hit before we get back to comments, Baker Mayfield. So there's I think Liam Cohen even mentioned this. There's been some reporting that the Bucs are working on an extension for Baker Mayfield. And I was all for that. I thought after last season, my offseason plan was, hey, let's go get Devin Lloyd. Many of you know, I'll repeat it for those who maybe not have heard it. Go get Devin Lloyd. Let's go shopping at the nice place. Get a good established edge rusher, whoever it's going to be. If you don't have to give up draft picks to get Max Crosby, go get Trey Hendrickson. Go get one of these, Jalen Phillips coming from the Eagles was a free agent. The Panthers got him and Devin Lloyd. I'd be interested to see how that works out for them. Meanwhile, the Bucs didn't. They went, shopping at the mid-level or low level. A rotational player, Mohammed, who had one good season on that. That was your edge rush veteran that you signed. Not great, obviously. Older, more rotational, not a star. And cheap. Anzalone, same thing. Really good player 5-6 years ago. Probably still got a little bit left in the tank, but not a long-term solution like Devin Lloyd would have been. So that was their decision they went cheap, not long-term invested in any of these players. I like Gainwell. That wasn't a very expensive one either, but it was a nice pickup as a running back, kind of insurance against, if Bucky doesn't make it back or, whatever issues he may be having. So that was a good pickup, but just in general, they didn't, and they kept their 500 head coach, which was the biggest sign that they were not really urgent about winning. And all you need to know is what Mike Evans voted. He voted no bueno. That's a no for him, dog. I'm out and going to San Francisco. So we don't need to enumerate anything else than that. That tells you all you need to know about where the organization is right now. He doesn't think they're serious about winning. He hadn't had time for it. And he knows it better than anybody. So at that point, I wanted to, hey, let's extend Baker. He'll never be cheaper than he is right now. And I think you could have got him in maybe the high 30s, maybe low 40s, which would be much less than what these new contracts are going to be. Even if he plays this year and plays well, he's probably going to demand up into the 50s. So I think you could have got him at a very good extension rate. And then you go and fix the defense with some real veterans, some long-term solutions, and then go to the draft, pick some more defensive players, and now you're ready to go. You're ready to go. I think you were that plan to me would have said you got your quarterback for the foreseeable future. You don't have to go chase one in the draft. You're fixing your defense, and if you wanted to keep Todd after this year, you could. If you didn't, you could go get somebody else, depending on how Zach Robinson works out. And if Zach Robinson works out really well, you may not want to let him escape via Liam Cohen and make a change there. And I could see, to me, that's a formula for growth and competitiveness. It's what kind of the Rams are doing. It's what the Eagles are doing. These are teams that are spending, they're pushing money deep into the future. And you can argue that at least they're being aggressive, in my opinion. The Bucs were not. So this changes the entire calculus on Baker. Okay. I'm not super interested in chasing a rookie quarterback in 27. I think you got a guy that's good enough to win because, you're still probably going to be picking in the mids. So you're not going to get one of the best quarterbacks. Now, it's not like you can't find a good one, but, the Bucs have never been able to do it in 50 years.
Right.
Draft and develop a quarterback. So what makes you think they're going to do it now? You got a guy who's good enough to win. If Sam Darnold can win a Super Bowl, you surround him with good defensive players and good offensive players and a nice running game. You already have one of the top 5 offensive lines in football, which obviously helps Baker, helps your offense in general. You got a chance, and I would have signed Baker. But now you're just doing everything mid. Do I think this team's going to be competitive next year? No, I don't. Not for the Super Bowl. I think they'll be competitive for the division, but I don't think they're a Super Bowl team. I mean, we haven't seen what they've done in the draft yet, but we'll see. This is not a finished product by any stretch. But at this point, I'm going to just see what Baker does this year, and then if he does well, I can franchise him and work on an extension. Now, it's going to cost me more, but at least if Baker were to struggle this year, and again, if he goes through this year and gets beat up again and his play falls off, you're starting to say, okay, his style of play is not conducive to a consistent season because he just plays so hard that he's getting banged up and then we don't have a backup quarterback that can come in and win games. At least that's what happened last year. You had no confidence in Teddy or you wouldn't have played Baker in a few of those games, or shouldn't have. I think it was 3 games in a row he didn't run at all. So I don't think that's good strategy. If your quarterback can't play and do what he does to win games, you should have a good enough backup quarterback that you can stick in to win games. That should be, job one. Now, maybe Grizzard as a neophyte play caller and coordinator couldn't handle that. He couldn't get 2 quarterbacks ready. I get it. Zach Robinson, and now they bring Browning in, who was very good in relief of Burrow. If Baker does get hurt, they'll have an opportunity to put somebody in that should be able to win the game. That's on the coaching staff. You got to get that guy ready and have confidence in him. If the other guy can't go, don't stick him out there at 50%. You're going to get him hurt. You're probably not going to win the game, especially if you're taking away critical things that Baker does to win games, like run the football. So To me, it totally changes the calculus. Now I'm much more along the line of let him play it out. You could still franchise him and have that leverage because he wants a long-term deal.
Yep.
But you could franchise him and he's able, and then you can work on the long-term deal if you want to keep him around and see where we go and see what the coaching staff situation is going to be. Because if it's a bad year, you probably just blow it up and you chase a quarterback in 27, which I don't think is, and you go get a new coach, and maybe you hit on it. Maybe you hit on it. Maybe you don't. But I'm tired of chasing quarterbacks. If I have somebody that's in the top 10 and I think Baker's a top 10, 12 quarterback, I'm going to concentrate on getting him at a good number and then building around him like Seattle did. But they didn't choose to do that. So, in my opinion, the guys that they got are not, because Baker's not a guy that's going to elevate the team that much. You got to have, like Darnold, you got to have guys around him. When they throw picks, and they're going to throw picks because they throw a lot of touchdown passes, you got to have a defense that's going to go out there and hold them to 3 or hold them to none. Team, complementary football. You're going to get turnovers. Part of the game. You got to have a defense that can go out there and stop the other team. And that wasn't the case last year. Every time Baker failed, there was no safety net. There was no team ball. There was no defense to pick him up. So that's why you lose, 7 of 8, 6 or 7. And and you're tanked against some really bad teams. So at this point, as much as I love Baker, you've decided to go mid. And at this point, it's got to be, okay, let's see what happens. And I don't think you can go. I think right now, if you signed him to a 5-year or 4-year, 160 guaranteed deal, you're locking yourself in for another 4 years. And what if he gets, beat up some more and he can't do the things that he needs to do? Then you're screwed. Then you're really screwed. Then you're in Dolphins to a hell. So I think this leaves you the most options. And the other one I would have done. But at this point, if you're not going to go all in and surround him with as good of players as you can, and you didn't do that, I don't think that's debatable. Then I think at this point you got to extend. Is that fair?
Yeah, and look, I've sort of waffled on this too, because initially at the start of the season last year, of course you're like, yeah, extend him now. You are in win now mode, and Baker can do it with this team with what you've got. And now that we've seen that team maybe wasn't that great, and you're in a bit of a retool mode, I won't even say rebuild, but you're definitely in a retool mode, and you may be having a new head coach next year.
Yep.
At the very least, you let this thing play out to see where the team is. Because look, you're going to do this for what's best for the team. We decided with Mike, that's probably what was best for the team, was for him to move on anyway, as much as it hurts emotionally. No different than Stamkos with the Lightning last year. But for Baker, look, Baker's as young as we talk about him seeming, he's not anymore. He's 30. Is he going to be around? Is he going to be good when in 4 years, in 3 years, when you've got a new head coach and a new roster and younger players, for what you're going to have to pay him to keep him? I don't know that that's what's best for the team. And I don't know that a $30 million, $35, $40 million a year Baker Mayfield helps you build a roster around him even in 2 or 3 years. When you could have a quarterback, a serviceable quarterback on a rookie deal to help you do that. Because that's what a lot of teams utilize these days with the salary cap. And yes, the salary cap is going up every year. We know that. But so do roster spots, so do salaries. So it all evens out. It's a kind of a wash. But in 3 years, is Baker Mayfield going to be the quarterback he is now? We saw what happens when he gets injured and tries to play through it. Do you think that the injuries are going to go away in the next 3 years? Of course not. They're going to get worse.
I don't think his game is going to age well
because
of the recklessness of which he plays.
Yes.
And that's not a cut on him. It's just it's reality, number one, and it's the way he plays, and that's his superpower. He makes those crazy plays, and he gets out of the pocket and he runs and he takes some hits and runs through guys. Sometimes it gives you energy, and you love every bit of it. It's just not going to age well. Sometimes I comp him to Drew Brees, but Drew Brees didn't do that stuff. Drew Brees threw it away. He didn't take hits. He wasn't running down the field, getting that extra yard. And I could argue that Baker could morph into that. He could calm it down a little because he's got a stronger arm than Breeze ever had.
Yeah.
Now, do I think he's as good a decision maker? Probably not. I mean, Drew was elite. He was elite Brady level preparation, execution, reading, processing. He was elite. Is Baker there? I think he's pretty good at it. I think he's really good at it. But, from what I've experienced, he can play from the pocket, but his most explosive plays come out of it. And that's his superpower. So I don't think his game is going to age well, but I do think he could play into his, late 30s, early 30s, 36, 37. I think he could still play into that, probably 6 more years, I would say. I think you could get that out. Now, again, I think he's going to have to calm his game down a little bit and kind of go a little bit more towards that, save those reckless plays for when you just really, really need it. But yeah, I think he could. But again, you got to surround him with a great offensive line and good weapons, and he can be a point guard and he can make big plays as well. So that's who he is. And you know what? It's hard to find. And also he has the comeback gene. And this is the other thing. You got to have a quarterback that has the stones to know when to go for it, when not to. Now he'll throw picks at certain times, and that's you need your defense to pick you up. But he's shown he can bring you back in the fourth quarter, 2-minute situations. He's really, really good at that, and that's a hard thing to possess. That's why Brady won all the shit that he won, because he was the master of the 2-minute. At the end of the half, at the end of the game, he was the master of the 2-minute. And I think Baker's pretty damn good at it. Not Brady level, obviously, but pretty damn good.
Yeah, the only issue I have with that is, and with Baker, and look, everybody knows I'm the biggest Baker supporter. Right? I mean, I still have his Browns jersey hanging up in my freaking closet next to my Johnny Manziel Browns jersey. But the only problem I have with that is I call Baker a gunslinger. He has that gunslinger mentality. He's the kind of player where you take the good with the bad when he's on, right? You're going to get a lot of good.
Brett Favre. Yeah.
He's Brett Favre.
Brett
and
Favre
you're going to get a lot of bad with it too. Well, the problem with these gunslinger quarterbacks, especially when part of your game is mobility and running, with Baker, it's always running to his right, never runs to his left, is when you can't run anymore. I think the bad decisions go up when you don't have that option in your game. And you're going to get a lot more of the bad than you are with the good with that gunslinger mentality if you don't have the mobility to go along with it. So when you talk about Baker playing until he's 37, man, I hope so.
37 is not that old.
I know, but for a guy like Baker, I think it is, for his game and for his body. I mean, I would love to see it. I don't know that it would be in Tampa, and I don't know that it
depends on what Tampa, what their strategy is. And it looks increasingly like they're going into the 27 market to grab a quarterback. But again, who's making that choice? Who's going to coach him up? I mean, we got a lot of questions to answer, but as we sit right here now, I think you let Baker play it out. And if you have to franchise him, you franchise him. If things go well next year, means
what would that cost though? Good God.
The top 5 money. But the thing about that is you're paying him $50 million, but you're not committing 160. That's the thing.
Right. It's a short term. Yeah, it's a lot, but it's in the short term.
Right. Exactly. And it's not great for your cap, but you're not committing 160. And again, if you are thinking about selling the team, you're not going to commit 160 million to the next owner. You're going to let them pick their coach, pick their quarterback, do the whole thing.
Right. And their new coach can pick his quarterback.
Yeah. And whoever may be buying the team or wants to buy the team would certainly be whispering in their ear, hey, we'd rather have a clean slate. Don't saddle me with $160 million contract or $180 million contract.
So the franchise tag on a quarterback for 2026 is a tick under $44 million.
Yeah, God, that's a bargain.
So look, maybe you come to an agreement with Baker, man. We want you here, but here's our plans for the future.
And I think Baker would take much less for a long-term deal.
Yeah, say, look, let's keep you here. Let's long-term. Look, we're going to try to find a guy in the 27 draft. We'd like you to be here for that and maybe help groom that guy. You're going to be 34 years old by then. You're at the tail end of your career. We want to keep you in the organization, keep you here in Tampa, and be part of the new regime that comes in and help maybe groom the next Baker Mayfield in the league. Maybe give him that opportunity.
You don't strike me as a groomer.
No, he's like, screw you, man. This is my job. I get it. I'm just saying you offer him that. And if he wants to be a part of that, then he takes it. If he doesn't, he's going to be playing behind Fernando Mendoza with Kirk Cousins in Las Vegas.
How about that deal? That's nice. It's only a 1 year, $20 million deal.
What? Kirk Cousins should go to the NFL or the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
His agent should.
Just based on his freaking what he's earned.
His agent should. Should be in the Agent Hall of Fame. All right, another quick break. When we come back, the Big O will join us, talk a little baseball, get to your comments as well. There's a bunch of them I want to get to. So stick around. Don't forget, MOR TV has the Magic game tonight. Tip-off 8 o'clock, 8:30 game time. Start tip-offs 8:30, pregame 8 o'clock. And they will have the Rays game coming up on Monday on your MOR. And then you can find that on all your cable systems in your local channel bundle there, right next to all the other stations. Quick break. Back in 3. As the Rays enjoy being back in their Tropicana Field home this season that was ravaged by Hurricane Milton, Italiano Insurance wants to remind us all how important it is to be properly insured. 40% of you are underinsured. That can mean financial disaster. Let the experienced and friendly agents at Italiano shop your policies for the best price and the right coverage. Italiano saved me over $1,000 on our auto insurance last year, over $500 on our homeowners insurance. They can do the same for you. That's a grand slam. Might as well get a double play by adding flood insurance and business insurance to your portfolio. Costs less than you think, and trust me, you do not want to risk your home or personal wealth. That's a whiff. So step up to the plate and call 813-877-7799 and chat with our all-star agents at Italiano Insurance, or call our Boca Grande office at 941-964-0400. Hey, lots going on at Genesis of Tampa, selling amazing vehicles and doing great things in the community. And March is Gray Bull Rescue Military Appreciation Month. A portion of all vehicle purchases go towards a donation to Gray Bull Rescue, who recently saved dozens of Americans from the cartel violence in Mexico. A great organization. St. Patrick's Day is coming up. Wear green, buy green, save green. Wear green to Genesis of Tampa on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, for $500 off any vehicle in stock. Buy anything green that's green in color, cars, SUVs, you get $1,000 off. Also, buy a vehicle between March 14th and 17th, and you'll be entered to win a trip to Ireland on us. How about that? Of course, Genesis vehicles are the best in class for value, technology, luxury. And there's a National Genesis Signature event going on currently to get 1.9% financing. Limitations apply. Whether it's the G70, G80, 90 sedans, or the incredible SUV lineup, take a test drive and see what everyone is talking about. It's special. Genesis of Tampa, 801 East Bears Avenue. Tell them JP sent you. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's the love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
JP here for Riveters, our new official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. And just like our show, no BS, no corporate chain feel, just amazing, authentic folks serving great comfort food in a casual atmosphere at unheard of prices. Riveters is located just south of Raymond James and Steinbrenner Field on Dale Mabry, walking distance to the park, so free parking, great place for pregame and postgame. Let's talk about fresh food. Nothing is frozen. Burgers, wings, prime rib, roasted fresh daily, never frozen. That makes a huge difference. The mahi, the salmon, also super fresh. All our sauces are original recipes made in-house. Our Warhawk chili and fully loaded potato soup is made fresh in-house. It's the best food anywhere, served by people who actually care. Riveters on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of where the Bucs and Rays play. We'll see you there.
Sunshine State, where the storms roll in. Gotta keep your roof strong and never give in. From hurricane winds to that summer heat, Pitch Roofing's here and they're hard to beat. From shingles to metal, they got the skill, fixing up your home with a builder's thrill. When your roof's in trouble and you don't know who to call, just remember Pitch Roofing, they'll cover it all. Pitch Roofing, roofing done right, keeping you safe day and night. In the Florida sunshine or stormy skies, Pitch Roofing, roofing done right.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Yeah, we're back. The off-air show.
Y'all having a party over there or what?
Yeah, we are.
Damn.
O says he does not like the idea of stripper poles in the left field.
What about stripper poles at Riveters?
You should not have stripper poles as your foul poles.
That would be great.
The most Tampa thing ever.
How about in the dugouts?
It's Paradise City.
Yeah.
As you walk in. Oh, yeah, those are the days. Anyway, welcome in the Big O. He is here.
I just walked into like a barrage of
You did.
poles, and
You did.
We're just having
Didn't even
fun.
know.
wow,
We have fun on this
in
show.
the dugouts for what? For
Well,
stretching?
we were
For stretching,
saying,
Timmy?
we were saying,
Stretching, all right.
This would be the first stadium with a stripper pole, and then we said, there's probably been one or two installed, maybe temporarily, in a clubhouse.
I will tell you this.
could
My
tell a story.
favorite.
Would you confirm or deny that
I can
as
tell
a
it-
person that's been in clubhouses?
No. But I could tell a story about a famous Tampa Bay Lightning. No, I can't. I cannot.
The
Now, look,
floor
I can
is
tell a
yours.
story here. I can tell a
will
story
not.
here without naming names because my favorite little minor league ballpark here that we have, Riders Ballpark, the home of the AA affiliate of the Texas Rangers, the Frisco Rough Riders. It's half a mile from my house. They have a, what do you call it? A lazy river in right field.
Yeah,
Right
There
over
we
the
go.
wall on the deck, and it's just so it's family friendly. It's a nice thing that they added about 10 years ago or so to the park. However, during the season, Thursday night games are 21 and up only in the lazy river.
Adults only in the
And
lazy river.
I will tell you this: the ticket price for the Thursday night lazy river tickets are triple what they are for any other game because. We'll just say things get a little sketchy in the 21 and up around the fifth inning after a few adult beverages have been.
and the talent probably.
Is it BYOA?
It is.
Your own antibiotic?
It is.
I thought it was.
I haven't had an issue yet, but I did have a burning
your own
sensation one
boobs.
time.
Your own boobs and your antibiotic. Yeah.
So it's
Possible
it's
STDs.
super cold, but it's as close as we get here at a ballpark.
Oh, I don't even want to think about getting in that lazy river now.
Oh, it's awesome.
After
it's nice
that.
and it's nice and warm.
Yeah, but hopefully it's highly chlorinated.
Yeah,
I'll never ask.
It's
That
adult
is-
night in the lazy river.
that is
No,
a
thank
minor
you.
league appeal right there. That
No,
is
thank
that is the epitome of minor league
How
baseball.
great is that? I love it, man.
To
I
come
love
up with that campaign.
But let's just say the bullpen stories,
Mhm.
the things that have happened in bullpens over the years. I mean, back when we were talking about the Mets of the 80s,
Yeah,
lots of good stuff. See,
Before you had
can't
40
talk about-
cameras
No, I
in the
can't.
They
bullpen,
get
right?
thrown
I
out.
can't.
They get thrown out of the MLBPA.
No.
Nowadays, though, you can't get
Not.
away with crap in the bullpens because they got 40 cameras mounted everywhere in the bullpen. Back then, you
Right.
had like one shot of the bullpen from the other side of the stadium.
There was
Yeah.
shenanigans going on.
Yes.
There was shenanigans going on. So anyway, Ellen Road Loco says the Rays lineup is out, JP. You'll not be happy. Do you have it? Do you have it
Yeah.
there?
I'm going to look it
Got
up
it.
right now.
I got it.
All right.
I'll throw it up
Are
on
you going to
screen.
pop it up? Can you pop it up, Timmy?
Yep, I'm getting it right now.
All right, cool. So you sent me a graphic yesterday. So Speaking of,
No, I'm not. This is
what
the lineup that they've been doing. They're not changing anything. It's Diaz, Aranda, Caminero, Fraley, Fortes, Mullins. They just, popped up Fortes, who's been swinging the bat pretty well. Drop Mullins. Williamson.
Who's not?
No, Williamson, Simpson, Williams. I mean, that's kind of been the 7, 8, 9 to some degree. Williamson, Simpson, Williams.
Why again? Chandler Simpson's got an on-base percentage of what is it? 512? 512?
I believe it's over 500.
Yeah.
Well,
you sent that to me.
I sent it to you yesterday.
Yeah. He's got and I guess I know it's not. That's
522.
It's not going to be 522 all year.
Of course not.
But it is right now. It is right now.
Well, I mean, it's just what that tells you is like basically that the kids worked hard on getting on base more. He knew that he was way below. I think he was in the 320s last year. That he needed to, that's to be, if he has any concerted effort. And by the way, one of the reasons that he probably accentuated bunting this offseason and came into spring training with that, already has used it, is to use his speed, get on base more. He gets on base, he should be scoring runs. Now you just want the monsters behind him in order to do that. Now, they could be thinking in the 8 hole, he gets on base. Williams is the guy, whoever's in the 9 hole, if it's Williams more consistently or Walls later on, Lux, whomever it is going to be pushing him over. And then you've got, Yandy, Aranda, Caminero. I will say that I do like that he's grouped those 3 finally together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that was very, very important.
But again, no protection for Caminero.
Well,
Fraley, but I do like the fact he's in the 3 hole now, so he bats in the first inning.
Yeah, but I do like Fraley.
Yeah, you liked him behind him.
I've liked Fraley behind him since spring training. I think Fraley, with the predominant righty pit starters throughout the league, and in baseball, that's the guy that's got to show up and start thumping, and then you look over there. He's a big, imposing guy.
Yep.
You know what I mean, and then you start thinking. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with Fraley behind that, especially if he starts producing. He's off to a decent start. Fraley's had a few hits, and and he's an imposing hitter from the left side against any righty in the major leagues. I'm comfortable with him. So that one's okay. When a lefty starts, then you start, you start bobbing and weaving as who's behind Caminero. My biggest concern for Caminero is any lefty starter or any lefty that comes into the game, they're platooning right away. So a lefty comes in, the big boy for Minnesota gets knocked out in the 4th inning, hypothetically. He might be coming out of the game.
Yeah. Right. Yeah,
right.
so you don't know
here
who's
comes the lefty,
yeah.
and then that changes to 7, 8, and 9 when you're trying to, now you've got, who do you've got? Though I'm a fan of DeLuca. So I said it to you last week. I said, keep me with that 3-pack wherever you're doing it. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, preferably 2, 3, 4 with who at first? Simpson and leading off.
Yeah.
And then keep me DeLuca Fraley for right now.
Yeah.
Because that's
pop.
That's pop.
Like that.
That's pop. Mullins still trying to feel it out so far this year. I think he'll settle in. He's too good a hitter. He came into camp with a good mindset and good body. He's already made some phenomenal plays in the outfield, by the way. The play that he made in left center with the sliding catch.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Dude.
That's amazing.
That was an amazing catch. I don't think people realize how hard that catch, when you're an outfielder and you're sensing the warning track, because that's what you're doing. You're looking up and you're, peripherally, you're looking, then you're feeling the wall. You know that at some point you have to either slide catch, give up on that ball,
or jump into the wall.
Jump into the wall.
Yeah.
Dude, that was gorgeous, right?
And he made it look so
effortlessly that it
hasn't
hasn't even been shown up that much anywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's one of the best catches of the first week of the season.
Yeah.
And so love him in center. That accentuates the one big thing that has been glaring, which is 9 errors. But mostly the areas have been catcher, first, third, You know,
Yeah,
in the
let's go back to the last series and specifically the 8th inning of the final game.
Right.
And even earlier, Caminero with 2 really
weird
throws.
One I give him a little bit of a mulligan that was a little more difficult than the other. The other one, he had time to set his feet. He just didn't set his feet.
And it just
you
feels
set
like
your feet a little more
pressing, and then
you're flinging it,
and then you send him over to first base. Why didn't you take Williamson? Is a very versatile defender, and before you say, well, he's never played first. Well, guess what? Caminero hasn't either.
Yeah.
Why would you put your young star? And one of the things I want to ask you from a cultural standpoint,
right?
Latinos are very proud people.
Yes.
You embarrassed him by doing that.
I don't know about that. I mean, a little bit, maybe, but I think he was trying to keep up the middle somewhat, the same. But the bottom line is that, well, he did move Williamson over to third, so yeah, you could have just slid him over, I get you. He's got to make that play though. I mean,
I know, but
that was like if he was at third base and it was a forced play and the shortstop.
Yeah, but clearly something's in his head.
He throws it to him, and something happened. Yeah,
something's in his head, right?
I got you.
He's not this bad.
No, he's just had a terrible week. We've all had bad weeks.
Yeah. But my point is,
one of the season.
My point is, I think the Rays are negligent in the way they've treated him. I don't think they've treated him like the young star that he is. They have not given him protection in the lineup. They have put him out there, and then the first base thing was an embarrassing thing for him.
Right.
I just feel like if I were him, I'd be like, what the hell is this franchise
I don't
doing?
think he's thinking that way. I think the franchise, if they've done anything, I don't think it's so much negligence as much as overconfidence. So you could possibly feel like he can handle so many different things. He's still only 22.
No, I think that's foolhardy.
Yeah. So that might be, we're like, he can handle this, he can handle that. And you got to understand that he's still a very young player at the major league level.
Yes.
And that hasn't seen all the dynamics.
All the more reason to build around
plays.
him and put him in better positions.
I agree with that.
To be successful, not challenge him more.
Yeah. Maybe one of the reasons that they've kind of shifted and are putting him in the 3-hole now, not only, just to get him that earlier at bat, but again, you have to be consistent with some thumpers behind him.
Yes.
Just one thumper. Yes. And I think it needs to, Fraley has to show up. Obviously, we're seeing some really good things from DeLuca. But that right-handed power, listen, it's so self-evident. You know how it's self-evident? And I'm going to tell you how. It's so self-evident that Nick Fortes is hitting 5th.
Yeah.
Nowhere last year or even going into spring training did I ever think that Nick Fortes needed to be hitting 5th in this lineup.
He's shown to be a really good hitter.
But he's just not an offensive catcher. Yeah. We're talking about in totality of a season.
Yeah.
Right. So if that's the case, that's that right-handed pop bat that you don't have right now that you have to. But as far as being in the lineup, what did I tell you last week? I need to see this kid, every day. And look, it's a right-handed pitcher. Nick Fortes is catching. And that has to be the case. Fiducia needs to be the weekend catcher, the break catcher, and you slide in. Hey, a little interesting tidbit. We are in the basketball season right now, right? We're at the
end of it,
the end of it, and the most exciting, one of the most exciting playoffs, along with the NHL. They kind of coincide with each other. Fantastic, game 7s and so many. Every series is 7. Have you seen who's on the mound today in the games today for MLB baseball?
No.
Speaking of basketball, 6'8" Joe Boyle.
Yeah.
6'9" facing pitcher Bailey Ober.
Yeah.
6'8" Yuri Perez for the Miami Marlins. When have you remember seeing 3 6'8" and more starters? There's 2 6'5" guys, 3 6'5" guys that are starting today.
That's a bigger front line than the Cavs have.
Holy shnikey! Yeah. We can feel Timmy. We can field an NBA playoff team right now.
That's crazy.
You hate hitting against tall pitchers.
The only
Didn't
reason it wasn't for, the bottom line, it was the stuff, right? It was the stuff. The only reason, so they had, great stuff, then it, didn't matter if they were 5'10" or 6'10". It was because I faced plenty of guys under 6 feet that were pretty damn nasty, but it was the release point.
Yeah.
So the reason for the release point is the knees, the legs, and the elbows and long. So they're giving you so much more movement than a compact, shorter guy that then you box him up quickly because all you're trying to do is find the box.
Find the ball,
Yeah, find the ball. So if he's a shorter arm, shorter leg guy,
shows quicker.
It shows quicker.
Yeah.
So these tall guys give you all this, elbow and
They're about
things. So
53 feet from you when they let the ball go.
that too, but more than anything is the focus that you have to have as to where the hell is that ball coming from. So
a lot of arms and elbows and
Arms,
stuff going on. Yeah. Hey, can I do a couple of comments here? But we're going to talk a lot of baseball, obviously, at 12:30 with the Rays, with the Big O show. So let me see. There were a couple I want to get to. No, I can't find them. Thomas Casper says Tampa has always had these type of objections because some people are not doing business. It's not a retirement home. Yeah, again, there's a lot of conflicts of interest here that have been put out into the public domain about people who are involved in this decision making, and that needs to be addressed. If you weren't selected to be in the ownership group and you're trying to tank the deal, that's not cool. Wesley Wright says, hey, JP, you should go talk at the county or city council meetings about the stadium when it happens. When they have the public forum, I think Big O and I
that's
head on over.
That should be coming up soon.
Yeah, they should have probably in 2 weeks, I think we'll do the public. They're going to have the memo. Hopefully they have the term sheet next week, and then they're going to have a public forum.
Yeah.
And public opinion. So I think I would like to be there. I would like to step up to the
that's
the
one
lectern.
That's one that you would be really, really well received, and it would make sense for you to get up there and explain some of your things because you do it very concise and very logically. So, and I'll be passionate. Ooh, it's always nice. Timmy likes that. Yeah, you like the passion. He likes passion. Bell says, "Hey, Dale Mabry already sponsors the stripper poles. Why not the foul pole?" Wow. See what you started, Timmy? Mm-hmm. It's Mons Venus night. Yeah. Here. Why should we listen? We do a lot of different nights. We can't exclude the sex workers. You could hit a ball to Space Odyssey. Ooh. Rick says half of the NBA is tanking. The other half is fighting for a play-in game. Pathetic. It is kind of that way. Oh, yeah. This is the time of season where NBA sees the overt tanking. 2-day B-Fit says Baker isn't going to win us a Super Bowl. He's a mid-level quarterback, 12 to 16 range. That needs a great defense to win. Bucs fans just need to be realistic to where this team is. This defense has several holes. That's true. He's mid. But I bet you said Sam Darnold couldn't win one, too. I bet you said Jalen Hurts can't win one, too. Jalen Hurts is an idiot. He's also a Super Bowl champion and Super Bowl MVP. And an athlete. Those Nick Foles. Yeah, well, again, that's I think that's a great comparison. There's a better comparison. And again, there's a misnomer that you have to have Patrick Mahomes to win a Super Bowl. By the way, Nick Foles, better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. It certainly helps. Nick Foles is what? A better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. Well, they both have Super Bowl championships. So, you mean just pure quarterback? Yeah, unselfish quarterback. Yes. Jalen Hurts isn't going to be in Philadelphia in 2027. I'm telling you that right now. They're done with him. Wow. Interesting. Wow. That's Super Bowl didn't get you what it used to. No, sir. He was responsible for that. Alejandro says the MVP. I thought he had a pretty damn good Super Bowl. Part two, he said the Bucs probably thought that Mike would retire after his last contract with the Bucs and didn't realize he was coming back while he tried to re-sign. So backlash from fans. Mike said no, and that's why they drafted Emeka Ibuka. I think it was partly to as insurance in case Mike retired, but I don't think they thought he was leaving. But that's on them though.
Bell says, well, they don't need to extend Baker. Somebody else will, if they don't extend Baker, somebody else will snatch him up. I don't agree with that. Sorry. Baker's like the best thing we have right now on the team currently. I would agree with that, Bell. If he were on the open market, I think he would be very much in demand. I think a lot of teams would see him as their Sam Darnold. I really do. And I think he would be snatched up pretty quick.
You don't think that Ibuka is the best thing that we have going forward?
Nah, no. I mean, he really fell off at the end of the season.
He did fall
when he had to be the number one.
He did fall off.
He didn't handle that very well.
But I think that kid's got a lot of upside.
Oh, I do too.
This was a
do
rookie
too.
season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was ridiculous.
There was still some learning to be had, and like in any sport, they changed up on him a little bit. But you don't think he can change up now? The kid's incredibly talented. Has great hands. I love watching him play.
Yeah. He's going to be a great
and smart.
Winner. No, but it being a number one is different, and he'll get it. He'll figure it out.
I feel like he's going to.
Yeah, he'll figure it out. It's his first year, and he kind of probably hit the rookie wall. All that stuff. Yeah. That happens. All right. Thank you guys so much for commenting. Big O show coming up here around 12:30. We got an hour of baseball talk. We're going to dig into what we've seen so far from the Rays, what we can glean from that, what the future looks like
in Minnesota.
It's going to be cold. How do you play baseball in cold weather? It's not easy. Yeah. Not good.
I hate it.
So stick around for that. Timmy, great job. Appreciate you.
Nope.
Have a great weekend, everybody. We will be back on Monday all week.
River.
TBA shows next week. You got Timmy and Nikki on Monday. I will be heading off to the slopes of Colorado and then on to the Masters. How about that? But I will be with you people. I will be with you people.
Bah humbug.
Have a great weekend. Happy Easter, everybody.
Yeah,
he has risen.
Yeah.